Hi everyone, welcome to Lipstick on a Rig. Today we're going to be making this super easy extra warm beanie. For this project we're going to be using 3 different skeins of size 4 medium weight acrylic yarn. But if you have any scrap yarn lying around, and it doesn't matter if it's the same size, weight, brand, or type, you can also use that. I'm also going to be using a size N or 15 or 10 millimeter crochet hook. And if you don't have one of this exact size, that's all right, just get as close as you can. To get started, line your yarn ends up like this, and for the entire project we are going to treat these 3 strands of yarn like they are one. So go ahead and attach the yarn to your crochet hook. And once you have the yarn on your crochet hook, we are going to chain 37. And once you have your 37 chains in place, what we're going to do is we are going to place slip stitches in the back bumps back here. So this is not the V portion of the stitch, but this back bump back here you can see. So go ahead and insert your crochet hook in that first back bump, and there is no turning chain for this row. And if your yarn is super tight like mine, it's okay. I promise it'll get a lot better after this first row here. Even after the first stitch, it gets easier. So I just yarned over and pulled through for my slip stitch, and that's all I'm going to do for the entire row. So I'm just going to insert my crochet hook in the next back bump here, and then just yarn over and pull through for a slip stitch. Just like that. So go ahead and repeat that for your entire row, placing 1 slip stitch in the back bump of each stitch in your row. And when you get to the end of your row, it should look something like this. So now all we're going to do is we are just going to chain 1 and then turn our work. And from here, we're just going to place 1 slip stitch in the back loop only of each stitch in our row. And you're just going to want to repeat this pattern, placing 1 slip stitch in the back loop only of each stitch in your row, and then chaining 1 and turning your work. You're going to repeat that over and over and over again until this reaches your desired width, which for me is going to be around 18 inches, but for you it might be something different. So you just want it to be able to snugly fit around your head without it being too tight. So go ahead and place 1 slip stitch in the back loop only of each stitch in your row, and then chain 1, turn your work, and then repeat that over and over and over again until you get this to your desired width. Once you've gotten this to your desired width, and it can go around your head pretty comfortably, which for me was around 18 inches, but I would say anywhere between 17 and 19 inches is probably going to be all right, depending on the size of the head of the person you're crocheting this for. So now I'm going to show you how we're going to connect these 2 edges. So go ahead and fold these 2 edges so that they're on top of each other like this. And you're also going to want to make sure that you've placed your last chain stitch at the very end of your last row here. And now all we're going to do is just place our crochet hook up underneath the entire stitch in both of the rows. So just like this, and you're just going to go with corresponding stitches. And from here, you're just going to yarn over and pull through for a slip stitch, connecting both sides. Just like that. So now you're going to want to repeat that going all the way up the side here. And one thing I forgot to mention that is really important is that you end on the opposite side of your tail so that when you crochet them up together like this, that the tails are on the same side. So from here, what we're going to do is we're just going to place 1 chain stitch, and then we're going to cut and tie off our yarn. And once you have your tail secured, go ahead and just tie it to your starting tail. So from here, cut a strand of yarn that's about 1.5 feet long. So for this part, I like to use a smaller crochet hook. You don't have to, but it makes it a lot easier. And all I'm going to do is just weave these 3 strands of yarn going sort of like I'm sewing them in between these stitches here. So you're just going to want to weave these going all the way around the edge of your hat here. And once you've completed weaving going all the way around your beanie, all you're going to want to do is just grab both tails and pull them really tight. And then from here, I'm just going to tie these 2 tails together as tightly as I can. And then from here, I'm just going to cut any excess of my tails and tie all of my tails together. And from here, you just have to decide if you want this bridge to be on the inside or the outside. So we are going to be flipping our beanie up like this. So it's kind of up to you whether you want the eyesore to be on the brim or on the whole hat. And then you just want to make sure that you tuck your tails on the other side. And this beanie goes really well with a nice poof ball on top, so I'm going to go ahead and make one and add it to it. And if you're unfamiliar with how to make a poof ball, I have a really simple tutorial that I will link to in the description. And after adding the poof ball, it looks something like this. Please let me know in the comments below if you experienced any issues while you were trying to make this, and I will do my best to help you out. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel, Lipstick on a Rig. Thank you so much for crocheting with me, and I hope you have a wonderful, awesome day.